Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Kay and this is Hey Kay Budgets. Today we're going to be closing out my month of May. We're going to get all the bills unstuffed from my cash binders, as well as look ahead into June and July bills and future expenses. So I'm excited to jump into it and check in with you. So let's go ahead and get started. So friends, in the beginning of May, I set some goals, and I always love to include financial goals in my budgeting. So in the month of May, I needed to fully fund my birthday trip, which I did. If you missed my previous video, I did my reallocation in which I saved some money in some savings challenges, and so I was able to reallocate about $100 to complete and fully fund the trip. The trip was amazing, so if you missed that video, I also included some vlog updates and shared my pictures and videos that I took, and it was just beautiful and so fun. And so if you missed it and want to go see it, you can check out the video just before this. I also made a decision to try and batch film for my budgeting channel, and I think I really like that. So I'm going to include that into June, which I did right here. And I wanted to do some online grocery shopping and meal planning. I didn't so much do the online grocery planning or grocery shopping like I wanted to, but I did do the meal planning, which made a huge impact on decreasing the grocery budget. So I'm going to be doing that again in June. We've got meal plan here, and maybe I'll get better at doing grocery budgeting online. Who knows? I have been going grocery shopping with Justin, and he's been helping as well shopping, and so we'll just kind of play it by ear. But I feel like the grocery budget is probably the only place to really make a difference in your variable expenses during the month. So I'm going to keep trying to keep an eye on that and keep that spending low. I needed to follow up with Maribel's health insurance, which I did, but there was really no update. So what was interesting is that she was supposed to run out of her father's health insurance and start getting on mine, but her father passed away last year, and so his employer was going to pay for 6 months worth of Cobra, which ran out, but they're still paying. So I don't know what to do about that. I'm still playing things by ear. I'm waiting for them to reach out to me and let me know, by sending me a letter, and they just haven't done it yet. So I don't know if it's an HR issue or if I need to continue to follow up with the insurance company and make sure that I'm not charging anything to the health insurance that shouldn't be charged. So who knows? We're going to continue looking into that in June. I don't really know how to prepare for that. So I don't know if you guys got any ideas. Shoot me a comment down below. I also wanted to create and share with you guys a May mini freebie. I did create one, forgot to share it. So what I'm gonna do is share it in June. I have my June one created as well, so I'm not gonna check it off because I haven't done it quite yet, but I will, and be on the lookout for that. As far as my savings, I use this checklist area here in this budgeting worksheet here on my Google Drive. This is freebie if you need a worksheet to work with. And I use this checklist to keep track of my savings and make sure that I deposit electronic funds into the high yield savings account. So the only thing I didn't get to do this month was my 1 year ahead spooky stuffing. And so we're gonna double up in June. So I'm excited about that. So instead of 200, we'll be saving 400. So together, I just love that one. I use prop money in it, but it's so much fun to get into those scary savings challenges, and I've decided I'm going to try and create like a new series for the 1 year ahead savings, and I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe revamping that, how I do that stuffing in the future, but we'll see. And so I didn't do any 10K binder savings. I just didn't have that money this month, which is okay. I did, though, put some extra money from grocery rollover into Food Truck Fridays and saved $200, which I did reallocate to the high yield savings account already, as well as the weight loss box. I was able to close out a couple of more sections that I wasn't planning on. I was able to throw in a little bit of extra money, put in a bonus video up, I think with like $37 left over in my budget, and it helped me complete and fully fund the amount that I owe the credit card for my next 6 months batch of medicine. So that was really cool. Back on the weight loss box though, because but just not as often. And I think that I'm going to be in a good like monthly weigh-in for the rest of the year. And so I'll be jumping in with you guys to do like monthly check-ins. So I'm excited about that change. My May box was the picnic party box from Susan at Windmill Ridge, and that was super fun, and it saved me $160, which we'll be reallocating into the 10K binder in June. And most of all, I was able to pay off the medical debt. So excited. The balance was $275. I pulled from my debt binder extra money so that I didn't have to have any kind of balance going into June. I just wanted to get rid of it so that I can concentrate back on making extra mortgage principal payments, which is truly what I enjoy doing, obviously, with my debt binder, because that's just an investment into my future. I had a ton of wins. The birthday trip being funded, medical debt being paid off. I was able to save 15%, even though it was a leaner month than I'm used to. I did get in some overtime hours, which helped me stuff a little extra into savings. I love the overtime hours because it gives me money to put into my savings with friends challenges, which normally I don't have a lot to go in there. So unless some like side hustle money comes into my lap, I can only budget a certain amount. And so when I get to go over, it just means I get to complete more savings challenges that I get to reallocate at the end of the month. And to me, that's exciting. So I'm going to try and work an extra, I don't know, 3 hours of overtime this next pay period and see if I can't get some, like about $100. I think once the taxes and my 401k contributions get taken out, I get about $100 of overtime when I work like a Friday afternoon. And then my meal planning and grocery budget reduction was a success. So happy. I can't think of any budgeting challenges that I had, but if I think of anything, I'll share them with you guys in a later video. This month was super, super fun. I did have a rollover of $122 from the beginning of the month. At the beginning of the month, I accidentally what is this? I like charged myself twice on something. I forgot what it was, but I was able to add a little bit more money into the balance, which meant my total income for May was $52.21. I allocated $51.95, so we're gonna have a $25 rollover into June. I am so excited. And just to take you briefly through the closeout budget, I did have an increase in my income, which was super great. It was about what? $600. And then I did have a surprise. My Wi-Fi went up $5 a month, and so I do have extra that I need to unstuff for that. And I was able to put more money into my about $60 worth of money into my Food Truck Fridays. So excited about that. That was between extra grocery budget money and extra money that I found within my budget. It was just really nice to be able to put that extra into Food Truck Fridays. We still have my 1 year head stuffing, so I put it in a different color so I don't forget. And I was able to put my overtime money from last month in May into savings with friends, which helped me complete quite a few May savings challenges. So overall, I feel like I had a really good month. I love 4-week budgeting months. The 5 ones really like, you know, they're so tough. But we're gonna jump now into the June budget with me. I just kind of filled it out like I normally do. I'm gonna continue to follow up with some retirement money that I need to catch up with and get it reallocated into my 401k at work. And then I've got Maribel's health insurance, and then I am her instructor for driver's ed, friends. So in the area that I live in, there really aren't any schools, and so we are starting the Aceables app, and I can't wait to see how that goes. I think I'm a good driving instructor. We'll find out, and I'll keep y'all updated. I do want for my channel to do some batch filming. Personally, I want to start meal planning again. It does help with the grocery budget, so I want to do that in June and see how much more I'm able to save. So I really liked how I was able to save my grocery budget money into Food Truck Fridays. I thought that was a really good compatible, video. And so I think I'll do that again for that. And then creating the June mini freebie for you guys, which I will have up tonight, I promise. My checklist is starting to get filled. I do have my lemonade box in here for this month in June. I'm excited. I did add my lemon challenges in here, thinking about kind of taking a pause on something, not sure what yet, so that I can work on all the lemon savings challenges I have been collecting over the year and getting to save with them and do nothing but lemon challenges this month. I'm so excited about my lemon challenges. So I went ahead and filled out my calendar. It's going to be a 4-week budgeting week again. I have one dog coming to board with me for the entire summer, and she comes on the 9th. I get paid twice this month, and on the 6th and the 20th. I've got my bills written in. I've got medical appointments for Maribel written in. We've got one holiday, which is Father's Day, and then I have my hair appointment and this cute sticker that's reminding me to be the energy you want to attract. And I felt like, and this is just personal, but I feel like sometimes, I think I've been on YouTube for about 2 years now, and you know, when you're having fun with something, eventually it turns into work. And so with Maribel being here with me full time after her father's passing, and then you know, taking her to and from school every day, driving in school traffic, and then having to go into the office and all the extra stuff that's going on at work, I just really felt like that attitude has affected my channel. So I'm excited about this summer. I'm excited to reinvent myself a little bit. I want to start some new videos, a new series. And so because I have a cute binder that my friend Courtney a Doodle Dollar sent me. She's got her doodler box that she sent me full of a binder and everything you need to get started on your journey. And I can't wait to start that for Maribel, because that is going to be her binder. So I have some great plans, and I want to be able to attract the energy that I want on my channel. So we're going into now year 3 on YouTube, and it's gonna be fun. I can feel it. That's gonna be great. So I went ahead and filled out my budget worksheet. I haven't completely filled it out yet. I want to go ahead and see what we have left after doing my unstuffing for the month to see what kind of bill money I'm going to need. I did add the Wi-Fi and cell bill in here because it did go up, so I know I need to stuff that more. I'm just going to kind of see what my balances are. Every month I have a little bit of a buffer that ends up in some of my envelopes, so I kind of just want to play it by ear so that I can free up as much cash to either go into savings or go into my sinking funds. I've got my debt, my variable expenses. The only change here is that instead of entertainment and miscellaneous, my pocket envelope, I have one envelope that's going to be dedicated to Amazon spending, because I'm trying to cash flow my Amazon spending. I'm really trying to be conscious of my spending this year because I have huge savings goals. I want to save $15,000 this year, and on a single income, that is a really big ask. And so I think I'm going to do it because I'm very dedicated and I've got my head down. I'm working hard every month on it, so I'm excited about it. I also have my mini Mondays and my savings challenges for savings with friends here under my sinking funds category, and I always stuff at least $200 into my mini Mondays, but I'm going to wait and see if I can stuff more into my savings with friends based on some extra side income money that I've got this month. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get started on the unstuffing. So let me go ahead and get this sheet back up, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, friends, I think I'm ready. I had to jump into my credit card accounts and see what my total was for my subscription. And I cannot believe it, but I accidentally forgot to pay my credit card bill. And so I got charged a 75-cent fee for interest. But this is truly what is owed. I went ahead and just paid it. But I think I unstuffed for last month and put it in the bank. I just didn't pay the bill. I cannot believe it. I haven't done that in forever. So you guys, you know, we're always still learning and growing. So if you are new here on my channel, I do cash budgeting, and I also do some credit card reconciling. I funnel all of my bills through a credit card so that I can earn cash back, and it actually helps me keep my bills going all and expenses going all into one place, and it's almost like a record of everything that I spend, so I can go back at any time and see. The only time that I don't do that is with my variable spending that goes into my wallet for groceries and stuff, but I keep a really tight, close eye on that. So for this, it's just nice to be able to go back and go, oh yeah, the last time I purchased a water filter was on this day or whatever, and I can go back and look. So we are going to unstuff my mortgage, and that is $23.10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 10. I'm stuffing my bills binder off camera. mostly because it's just a great exercise for me, but I'm just not like interested in filming it anymore. But you know, I have a couple of years worth of videos doing that, so you're welcome to go see that if you're new to cash budgeting, to see how that works. For the Wi-Fi and cellular, they both come out for the same company. So it went up this month, so I need 114, so I sure hope we have it. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, there goes all the buffer I had. So we're gonna have to work really hard in the rest of the year to build that little buffer that I had in my Wi-Fi envelope back up again. So let's go ahead and jump in to utilities next. And utilities, I just under $200 this month, and that is because we've had such really great weather. So I only need $294, so I'm going to take out this $200 and grab $6 and put it back in here. So we have quite a big buffer now in utilities. We have 20, 40, 65, 66, 67. Wow, that's great. All right, so we took care of utilities. Now let's go ahead and do lawn care. Lawn care is 86 and some change every month, so I'm just going to unstuff 86. So I'm going to take out 100. Let me grab my calculator real quick so I don't make any mistakes. Minus 86, $14. So let's take out a 10 and 1, 2, 3. Well, that's all I have. So 10. Let's see. $4. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and take out these 3 that I have, put it in here. And if we get a spare dollar or not, it doesn't matter. We can just put in 87. Let's just go ahead and do that. 87. There's nothing wrong with putting a little extra in the bank. So now lawn care, looks like we're gonna need to start stuffing it, which is why I decided to hold off on my June budgeting. We have 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 27. So I'm gonna put these 5 in, grab this 5 and do a little cash condensing. So we have 27 now in lawn care. All right, next up is my subscription. And since I believe I paid it last month. Let me go find my budget worksheet from last month. Hold on one second. All right, guys, here is April, and so I put in 25 for sub, and I really only needed 17. So let's do 42 minus 25. Oops, 42 minus 25, $17. Okay, well, I was right. I didn't even need that. So, that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and take out $17 from subscriptions. And I don't quite have all the change, so let's do 20 and take out 3, right? 1, 2, and 3. Let's see if I can cash condense a little bit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, now we've got 14 as a buffer in subscriptions. I'm gonna probably need it next month. So I don't like keeping too much of a bills buffer in here because I'm working on a mini that's gonna take care of the buffering for the summer and into the winter months. So I've got a plan for this, so I don't have to keep money in here. So streaming, I just need 12. So we're gonna take out this 10 and $2. And so that leaves us $5 in streaming. Now the expenses envelope, I do need to unstuff this, but I think I'm only gonna take a 20 out because we had some expenses that weren't planned for this month because I decided to put Maribel in driver's ed, and I had to buy a parent manual on the TDLR website, and it was $20. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take out this 20, and I'm gonna get an IOU in my personal that's gonna have that 20 in there that we're gonna ignore. And so now in expenses, we have $25 rollover, which is not bad. And this is really the envelope that I was using for Maribel's extra expenses, but I'm not gonna worry about this since Maribel's gonna get her own binder soon. So we'll figure expenses out later. It's gonna be probably where the buffer money comes from. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and cross this out and put 17 in again. All right, now we are done with the unstuffing for the bills. We need to come in here for the credit card and get that amount counted. But first, let me go ahead and add up our subtotal for our bills, and then I'll know what we have here in the tray to get started. So subtotal for bills and mortgage is $27.54, and that is right about where it usually is. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead now and count what we have in the credit card envelope. The credit card envelope is where I do a lot of my reconciling. So whenever I use my credit card at the grocery store instead of my cash because I'm in a rush or whatever, or I'm in the quick lane, I just use the credit card and get out of there. And then I take that money out of my wallet and put it in the credit card envelope so that it can go back to the bank. Now, we just filmed where I got to reallocate some money. So this is savings money, I believe. Let's see, what was this for? Oh, this was for debt. So this was going to the medical debt, I believe. So 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, and 75. Yeah. So this is the medical debt that I paid using the credit card because it was a lot of online payments through Cook's Children's and Quest Diagnostics. So it's just easier to pay those bills with the card. So that, oh my gosh. See, this is why, so what was that, $275? This is why I need to get this tray out of here. 50, 70, and a 5. Okay, I need to get this tray out of here because I need to make sure I have this money to count what was in the envelope. Okay, this next grouping was, oh, this is the birthday money that I needed to pay myself back with. It's $101. So we've got that here. All right. And then the rest is the credit card spending that I was doing either from my binder when I found time to do budgeting during the workday, or money that I pulled out of my wallet for whatever. I don't even know. I feel like this is a lot of money in here, but I did do a lot of spending. So let's count now to see what we have. I'm going to take this 50 out because it's going to mess me up. All right. You know what, I think for this 50, I want to just exchange it for 2 20s and a 10 so I can just count faster. All right, here we go. All right, friends, I'm ready now. Let's see what we've got in here. So we've got 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80. Wow, 480. Okay, and then 10, 20, 30, $40 and 10s. All right, and 5, 10, 11, and 12. Wow, $732 in the credit card envelope. That is insane. All right, now it's time to head into the long and short-term binders and start to unstuff my IOUs. So all the money that we got to reallocate previously is going to be coming out to pay all the IOUs that I have. So whenever I make an expense, either on Amazon or when I go out to dinner and we're sharing expenses, you know, Justin and I, or, you know, I'm doing personal spending on Etsy, which I need to probably go into Etsy jail, but I write myself a little IOU and I write what it's for and the amount, and we go ahead and unstuff it at the end of the month. And this is just how I quickly do my budget, and it gets me one video instead of several for my channel, and I just like it this way. I've been budgeting for ever, and the monthly budget is how I learned to budget, because when I first got out of college, I started working for the college that I graduated from, and as a state employee, you get paid once a month. So I learned how to budget once a month. And so that's what we've got here. So let's go ahead and add up all of these IOUs for Schmoopy. All right, that's $181.87. So we're gonna unstuff today 182. Okay, and we're done with these IOUs. So 50, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 2, 1 and 2. I think that's correct. So let's see. Let me double count this again. So 50, 70, 90, 110, 30, and 150, 60, 70, 80, and 2. Perfect. So that leaves me with 10, 15, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and $36 in Schmoopy. Wow, we really got rid of money in here. So $36 for Schmoops. Okay, next up is my personal category. Got a lot of spending in here as well. So let's go and take everything out. Let's add up my IOUs. All right, friends, so a lot of my personal spending was just little things throughout the month. I did have an Etsy purchase, and that was 133 cents. So the extra expense that we had for Maribel for her driver's ed was $89 for the app to get her permit and start logging in, driving hours, and that was $89. So I don't have enough in my personal for that. So I think what I want to do is, let's see, maybe just unstuff all of this and get as close as possible and rewrite this IOU and see where we can go to find that extra money. So let's do plus 89 equals, so we're gonna unstuff 178, okay, for a zero balance, and minus 178 equals $11.33. So let's do, where's my other marker? Here it is. So we're going to update this one for $11.33. So we'll see where this is going to come from. So these are done, and this is all coming out. Wow, look at this stack already. All right, so personal is completely empty. I'm so glad I'm getting a little extra side money this month, because this month really just stole everything. All right, we did some soda purchases at Costco. So we're unstuffing $26. And that means we have 101 left. Okay. Oh, yeah, 26. So 101 is left. I'll figure that out later. I'll get that written in later. Hair and beauty, another big expense. I need to probably cut back a little bit on what my hairdresser is doing with me. So we are unstuffing $254, and we have 290 in here. So 254 equals 36 is what's left. So 35 and 6. So we've got 200, 20, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 254. And that's exactly what we need. We actually need 255 because there's 61 cents here. So let me go ahead and unstuff another $1. And we unstuff 255. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Wow. Minus 255. Definitely cannot afford to get my hair done as much as I have been, but we're going to cut back a little bit. I do get it cut and colored, and you know, some days she gets a little more in a tip money, and this last time she got a lot in tip money. So let's see, so that's $36. Wellness is next. We have some expenses for Maribel's physical therapy. So we've got, so that's $67 coming out, minus 67. So that is from 108 is $41 left. So let's see what we've got. 20, 40, and 1. So let me make sure. This is 67. Yep, that was exactly 67. Wow. Okay, so we're done with that, and we have $41 left in wellness. All right, next up is, we don't have any expenses in clothing or gifts, so I guess that's it. So I need $11 from somewhere. I guess it could come out of happy hour because we're not really using happy hour very much. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the 11 out of here. So 10 and 11. And I'm not gonna worry about the 33 cents. I'm not really sure where that came from other than from personal. So I think what I'll do is, let me write in here, minus 11. And we are done. So that would be $85. No, 80, yeah, $85, right? Yeah, $85 in happy hour, which is plenty. All right, guys, we're fully caught up. Let me go ahead and count this money real quick and we'll find out what we unstuffed for May's expenses. So that's $7.19 coming out of the short-term binder. Wow, I didn't even know I had that much in there. So $7.19. So let's go ahead and add up our credit card expenses and IOUs. That is a total of $1,451 worth of expenses this month. That is a lot to me. So plus $27.54. So we have $42,005 in expenses and bills. So let me go ahead and get all this money back into the cash tray, and we are going to double check our work and make sure that's exactly what we have here going back to the bank. You guys, I'm off $100. Did I do something twice? Well, friends, that's an interesting number to be exactly off $100. So I'm gonna just kind of figure that out either off camera or when I'm doing my editing of this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Technically, when you do a cash-based budget, right, everything equals out to zero, but being over $100 isn't necessarily a bad thing. It is so great to be able to share this with you. I strongly believe in this method. I think it works wonderful for people on a tight budget, on a low income budget, or those who are really trying to work on paying off debt, because when you can feel the money, touch the money, it has an emotional impact. And when you're playing with cash and it's, you know, coming out of your hands, it's a lot harder to spend money when you're obviously having it in your hand. So definitely worth checking out if you're new to this. If not, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your support so much while I work on getting ahead in life and figuring out all the things. And I'm going to spend some time now figuring out where this extra 100 came from. We are going to start my June budget starting tomorrow. So I hope to see you back again for my first weekly cash stuffing of my wallet for the month of June, and my Savings with Friends challenges, my new ones for June. I'm excited. All right, guys, have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye for now.